Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights. Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh?
In this video today, President Trump makes a stunning move when he issues two big executive orders. One is to declassify the JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. files and pardon the pro-life protesters. This is just great news all around. And some other great news is that Jim Acosta from CNN might be leaving the network. These stories and more in this video, but let's watch Trump sign the executive orders.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
Now, it seems that Kristen Clark, this woman here that you see on the screen, I just find this to be ironic, by the way, is behind prosecuting these pro-life activists. Now, they didn't damage property. They didn't break in. They didn't hurt anybody. All they did was show up. I believe it was at a Planned Parenthood. If I'm wrong, please, guys, put that in the comment section. And they were singing some tunes, and I'll show you guys a clip of this, but they were thrown in prison. So Democrats, can we just finally admit that under Joe Biden, you guys were exactly what you accused Trump of being, which is authoritarian with how you treated these individuals. And I think this is something to celebrate, that Trump has pardoned them, full pardon, by the way, because they shouldn't have been in prison to begin with. Now let's take a trip down memory lane and watch the clip that got them thrown in prison. Watch this. So that entire story is just where common sense goes out the window, right? If you don't want people to enter the building and protest, then just lock the building. I mean, when I actually looked into it, I found this to be just overreach and overreaction from the Biden administration, because they want to make a statement, right, that they're for murdering babies, for the record. Now, let's get to what's really juicy here, is the declassification of RFK, JFK, and MLK Jr.'s files. Check this out.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you.
So promises made, promises kept, right? He said he was going to do this. Now he's doing it. And of course, the media will never give him credit for keeping his word. They're going to criticize every decision he makes. That's the first thing. Secondly, 97% probably of what's in those files are already public. So we probably won't find much that will be new. However, some people in the intel community believe the remaining 3% of what's in those files is going to be publishing the names and addresses and phone numbers of the individuals involved. I don't really think that's an issue at this point. I mean, so many decades have passed by. I think this is in the best interest to make sure that the American people can start trusting the government again. Now, he did take questions after signing these executive orders. I just wanted to show you guys the big two juicy ones, in my opinion. But here he is responding to a judge blocking his executive order on birthright citizenship.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
No. And no surprises there. It's too bad. It's the way it is. Too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Well, as of shooting this video, Ratcliffe was confirmed as the CIA director. And of course, that's good news, but Kristi Noem is up next, and then Pete Hegseth. And if the Democrats continue to try to slow walk this, it will force Trump to use recess appointments to confirm the rest of his cabinet. The only problem with that is those confirmations would be temporary. They wouldn't be permanent. And so we'd still have to revisit this entire dog and pony show later down the road.
Does Senator Thune support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John, and we'll see. John Thune's a great guy, great senator, and knows his stuff inside out and backwards, but I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
All right, so now he's going to answer the question about January 6 pardons, and the word on the street has been that he will likely meet with some of these defendants that he pardoned at the White House. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you want to see a huge meltdown take place, this is going to do it. If they actually show up to the White House and he meets with them and the cameras are rolling, the media is going to have a field day over this. And again, it's just a pure overreaction from them because at this point, there's nothing that they can do about it. He's going to do what he's going to do. And it's better he does it now at the beginning of his term versus towards the end. Anyways, here's what he said.
In the January 6, 2021 event, do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. And, I mean, people understand that also. And they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that. So I'd be open to it, certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet in some of the congressmen, women, want to meet. But I'd certainly be open to it.
Have you spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr. President,
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys this one more time. I don't care what side of the debate you are when it comes to January 6th, nothing can be done, and any outrage or opinion about this matter is irrelevant because at the end of the day, Trump is the president and he has 110% authority to pardon anybody that he wants. And that same level of authority existed with Joe Biden, who pardoned his family, who pardoned Hunter Biden, and pardoned 37 murderers who were on death row. So, and excuse me, to be correct, commuted their sentences, right? So at the end of the day, we're never going to get anywhere with this debate. However, we might be able to get somewhere with border security because ICE is continuing to round up these illegal criminals, all right, and lock them up and get them out of here. And this morning, there was one, particularly from Haiti, that went viral for his comments about Joe Biden and Trump. And I think he's just saying what we've always known. Watch this.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Now, just like I stated earlier, he's just saying exactly what we've always known, that Joe Biden welcomes illegal criminals into this country and Trump does not. And this is just 1 + 1 = 2 type of logic. If you have a country with no borders, everybody's going to come and then you won't have a country, right? The fact that the borders are being taken seriously now, ICE are allowed to do their job. We won't have any more Lincoln Rileys on our hands. And that is obviously the hope here. Now let's hear from the border czar himself, Tom Homan, about how everything is going. Watch this.
First, Tom, when you see that video, I'm curious, what do you think?
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. I can tell him that. And look, I've said it on this network for 4 years. Joe Biden, opened these borders on purpose. It wasn't a mismanagement. It wasn't incompetence. He knew exactly what he was doing. He made the promises while he was running for president, and he kept those promises. At least you got to give him credit for that. But yeah, they've opened this border up, and President Trump's going to secure the border, the highest level ever. You thought we had a secure border before? Watch what happens now. It'll be the tightest border in the history of this nation, and ICE officers are finally getting the handcuffs taken off them, and they're going to put them on the bad guys throughout the country.
And that seems to be the sticking point for Democrats, because they look at this as my aunt, my uncle, my grandfather, my grandmother, they're all going to be taken from their place of work. You're going to go into my church and threaten people. And they go to the extreme with this whole subject. But the reality is there's plenty of criminals. It's going to take some time. They're not going to get them all in one day. And he's spot on. So I guess it leaves us with the question, are we sure we are clear on who Trump, particularly Tom Homan, is going to target in these deportations? Hear Tom Homan say it one more time for the people in the back.
If you're an illegal immigrant in the United States right now, who are the people that should understand you are coming for them? What class of illegal immigrant is the one that is at the top of the list to be deported?
If you're in the country illegally and you commit a crime against a citizen of this country, you have a criminal history, we're looking for you. You're that priority. Our top priority is criminal aliens and those of public safety threats and national security threats. If you're a member of Trendo Agua, we're coming for you. If you're a member of MS-13, you're a priority. We're coming for you. And what I'd like to say, those are in the United States illegally that have not been formally deported by an immigration judge. Go home.
So for all those people who are worried and they're scared, they might want to replay that clip because, again, they're trying to distract me, you, and everybody else from the facts and trying to scare everybody that they're going to round up people's grandparents. So that's good to hear that from him. And also, there are plenty of people who already had the order to be deported. They already went to the judge, and they're just hanging out in this country. Now, you guys know me. I'm always going to show you an example. Now, here on Fox News is a Democrat arguing that nothing has really changed, that ICE, who's now doing their job and allowed to do their job, the numbers haven't changed. It's been the same. Trump really isn't making an impact whatsoever.
Well, look, if we look, Martha, at the rates, we're only on day 3 here, right? Really, so yeah. 3 full days, right? So we know it's been about, we're looking at 300 to 500 daily raids, ICE rates. Those are the same numbers that Biden was doing on a daily back in 2024. So nothing has changed, really. Now, I will tell you this, it's a bipartisan issue. If you belong to Trend.Agua, if you belong to MS-13, we want you deported, we want you out of our country. So let me be very clear. This is a Democratic and Republican
say with
issue.
A straight face that nothing has changed. You just heard that one of those people that they apprehended was released
yesterday. If you look, Martha, look at the numbers, 300. It's been the same amount of deportations, okay, since 2024. Now, that might get bigger, that might escalate, and I'm happy for that. If you're a criminal, and looking at the worst first, if you're a criminal in this country and you committed a crime, we want you out of this country. Now, the real challenge here, Martha, I think it's what are we going to do with the other 9 million undocumented immigrants in this country that don't have any crime, right? That's going to be the real issue and the challenge that I think President Trump is going to face.
Now, you guys know me, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And so this new graphic is going around social media proving that there is a Trump effect taking place on the border because on January 22nd, which was yesterday, there was only 44 migrant encounters at the port of entry. To compare that to just, a week ago, it was 1,645 per day. So, guys, I mean, no matter how much they want to spend this, Trump is clearly getting results. Now, the credit for this graphic, if you guys want to go more into depth about all this, is News Nation, Ali Bradley TV on X. All right, so it's just so interesting how things change, which brings me to this next story. about the soon-to-be benched Jim Acosta, who is thinking about actually leaving CNN because they are trying to reschedule him for late night when nobody's actually watching CNN. It's like people don't even watch now, right? But here is that story. Now, this is being reported by the New York Post. Jim Acosta may exit CNN rather than accept move to graveyard shift. Why is that? Well, because he's threatening to quit rather than accept a reassigned time slot that would see him move from late mornings to the graveyard shift. His days at CNN are numbered, as the former White House correspondent known for his combative coverage of Trump could be heading for the exits rather than accepting a move. And this is according to a CNN staffer who told Fox News that Acosta was getting hosed. Now, what's fascinating, this actually is similar to this next story here, where CNN is plotting a major overhaul as it enters a new Trump era. What does this mean? They're laying people off. They are changing the schedule around to adapt to Trump and also to adapt to the fact that nobody watches them on cable TV. Okay, it's all digital now, and a lot of the news is decentralized. And that's why in this article, he said this, quote, "If we do not follow the audiences to the new platforms with real conviction and scale, our future prospects will not be good." Listen, your future prospects are not going to be good regardless, because nobody trusts anything you guys are saying. Now, we all know that the traditional cable TV business remains CNN's main revenue driver, but the network has been stuck in last place in the ratings among its main competitors behind MSNBC and Fox News. Isn't it interesting how bad MSNBC is and they're beating CNN? I mean, for as bad as CNN is, at least they have some conservatives that are actually on their network. MSNBC has zero. So I find that to be interesting. Its primetime ratings have plummeted since the election, and its digital audience has also shrunk. Well, that makes sense to me. Now that we're 3 days into the new administration, and if you've been paying attention to these videos, which executive order do you believe has made the most impact so far? Let me know what your thoughts are about that in the comment section below. Now, I know he's issued quite a few of them. Again, in this video, we had the JFK, RFK, MLK Jr. We've had the border security with military personnel. We've got getting rid of DEI, woke policies. There's just so much out there at this point. I think my answer, just for my own sanctity here, is what he's been doing on the border by deploying military personnel down there. That is just immediately results are going to start rolling in and allowing ICE to actually do their job. That'd be my answer. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, Trump has been so busy that he also gave a speech this morning at the World Economic Forum, and in my opinion, called out these global elites to their faces. And really put them on blast. And so if you guys want to check out the highlights from that speech and more stories from earlier today, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.